Chairman Stacey Mobley, please present the Speaker, Mr. Chadwick Boseman.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Mr. Chadwick Aaron Boseman to receive at your hand the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
Chadwick Aaron Boseman, quintessential artist, actor, director, writer. Your unique ability to completely embody the characters you chose to portray on screen and stage has created a phenomenal global sensation in the world of film and entertainment unlike any in recent history. Beginning with your work in the film 42 in 2015 as the legendary Jackie Robinson, who broke the color line in Major League Baseball by signing with the Brooklyn Dodgers at a time in America when blatant racism was rampant. And I told Chadwick last night that Jackie Robinson and Martin Luther King Jr. received honorary degrees on the same day right here at Howard University as well. So your exquisite true-to-life depiction of the Godfather's soul, Mr. James Brown and the first Delaware, and in 2017, your brilliant role in Marshall, which you produced about the iconic civil rights warrior, Black Panther, who is based on a Marvel Comics character which debuted just over half a century ago. Also in 2018, you reprised your role of T'Challa Black Panther in Avengers Infinity War, which is the fastest film ever to pass $1 billion globally. You came to alma mater as an undergraduate of T.L. Hanna High School in your hometown of Anderson, South Carolina, where you were reared in a loving, supportive home by your mother Carolyn and father Leroy Boseman. Having written and performed plays in your junior year, your focus was initially on directing, and you earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in directing in 2000. You were fortunate to have taken classes from the acclaimed Felicia Rashad, who raised the funds for you and fellow classmates to attend the British American Drama Academy in London. While your plan was to hone your talents as a writer-director, it was your exposure to Rashad's teaching that opened you to the fruits of acting as well. Settling in New York, you began your career teaching drama at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture in the Junior Scholars Program in Harlem in 2002. You landed your first television role on Third Watch in 2003 and had a series of other roles on CSI, New York, Law and Order, and ER, to name a few. While continuing to write plays, you felt it was possible to do it all despite your agent pressing you to choose one artistic area of focus. Ultimately, you did see the value in this advice, even though you had success with Deep Azure, based on the tragic true story of Howard alum Prince Jones, who was murdered by a Prince George's County police officer. Your decision to move to Los Angeles in 2008 opened the way for more achievements, as with your role in the television series Lincoln Heights, then your first feature film, The Express. and a regular role on Persons Unknown in 2010. Other films included The Kill Hole, released just before 42, in which you starred opposite Harrison Ford, Draft Day with Kevin Costner in 2014, and Gods of Egypt, in which you played Thoth. Chadwick A. Boseman, beloved son of alma mater, your dedication to excellence, your pioneering, indomitable spirit, and motivated commitment to your craft stands as the hallmarks of your incredible life and career. You are a shining exemplar of our cherished core values of leadership, excellence, truth, and service. It is with heartfelt respect and loving gratitude that we salute and honor you as orator on the historic occasion of our 150th commencement, conferring upon you the degree Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor to present to you our 2018 Commencement Convocation keynote speaker, Dr. Chadwick Boseman. As you heard, he is a true son of Howard, and Dr. Boseman refined his extraordinary talents right here as an undergraduate student under the mentorship of many remarkable people who passed through these halls. Dr. Boseman possesses all of the qualities that we embody. And even when the lights are turned off and there are no cameras, those qualities continue to shine brightly. And so it is for this reason I'm pleased to introduce the commencement orator, Dr. Chadwick Boseman.
First, giving honor to the Creator and my ancestors on whose shoulders I stand. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. She is not here in attendance, but by tomorrow, she will have seen this. Let me also acknowledge my professors who have passed on to the other side. Because of work obligations over the past few years, I missed memorials that were held here for them. Professor Al Freeman Jr., Professor Mike Malone, Professor Reggie Ray, Dr. Henrietta Edmonds, Professor Joe Selman, Dr. Johnson, and Dr. Singleton. Professors and instructors that may be present: George Epstein, Tony Starnes, Denise Saunders, Professor Roberts Williams, and Professor Vera Katz. Your lessons continue to guide and enlighten me to this day. To President Wayne Frederick and the Board of Trustees, thank you for bringing me back here and giving me this distinguished award. It's overwhelming to be recognized amongst this year's honorees. I can think of no better place to be right now after the Black Panther and Avengers campaigns than to return and participate in these graduation ceremonies with you. It is a great privilege, graduates, to address you on your day, a day marking one of the most important accomplishments of your life to date. This is a magical place, a place where the dynamics of positive and negative seem to exist in extremes. I remember walking across this yard on what seemed to be a random day, my head down, lost in my own world of issues, like many of you do daily. I'm almost at the center of the yard. I raised my head and Muhammad Ali was walking towards me. Time seemed to slow down as his eyes locked on mine and opened wide. He's raised his fist to a quintessential guard. I was game to play along with him, to act as if I was a worthy opponent. What an honor to be challenged by the GOAT, the greatest of all time, for a brief moment. His face was as serious as if I were Frazier in the Thriller in Manila. His movements or flashes of a past greater than I can imagine. His security let the joke play along for a second before they ushered him away. And I walked away floating like a butterfly. I walked away amused at him, amused at myself, amused at life for this moment that almost no one would ever believe. I walked away light, ready to take on the world. That is the magic of this place. Almost anything can happen here. Ain't you? Howard University. I was riding here and I heard on the radio somebody call it Wakanda University. But it has many names: the Mecca, the hilltop. It only takes 1 hour, one tour of the physical campus to understand why we call it the hilltop. Every day is leg day here. That's why some of you have cars. During my junior and senior years, I lived in a house off campus at Bryant Street. For those of you, that's right, Bryant Street. For those of you who don't know what that means, that's at the bottom of the hill where the incline gets real. Almost every day, I would walk the full length of the hill to Fine Arts, where most of my classes were, carrying all of my books, because once you walk that far on foot, you're not walking back home until it's time to go home for good. But beyond the physical campus, the hilltop represents the culmination of the intellectual and spiritual journey you have undergone while you're here. You have been climbing this academic slope for at least 3 or 4 years. For some of you, maybe even a little bit more. Throughout ancient times, institutions of learning have been built on top of hills to convey that great struggle is required to achieve degrees of enlightenment. Each of you had your own unique difficulties with the hill. For some of you, the challenge was actually academics. When you hear the words magna cum laude, you know that's not you. That's not you. You worked hard, you did your best, but you didn't make A's or B's, sometimes C's. Never made the dean's list, but that's okay. You're here on top of the hill. I want to say something to that. You know, sometimes your grades don't give a real indication of what your greatness might be. So it really is okay. For others, it was financial. You and your family struggled to make ends meet every semester of your matriculation. You had to stand in one line to get to another line, to get to another line for somebody that might help you. You had to work an extra job or two, but you're here. For a lot of you, not all, but a lot of you, your hardest struggle was social. Some of you never fit in. You were never as cool and as popular as you wanted to be, and it bothers you. So your social struggles here became psychological. Even though you made it up the hill, you carried the baggage of rejection with you, but you're here. Or some of you went through something traumatic. You made it to the top of the hill, but not without scars and bruises. Some of you fit in too much. You were on the yard rapping on your frat block when you were supposed to be in class. Or you got caught up in the DC party life. I know how that is. I mean, we're right here in the midst of the city. Sometimes you forgot you were in school. You probably could have graduated with honors, but instead you are getting an oh yeah degree today. Oh yeah, I have class. Oh yeah, I have that paper due. Oh yeah, I have a final. You were literally too cool for school. You waited until the last minute to do your best work, and it's a wonder that you made it up the hill at all because you carried the baggage of too much acceptance. Most of you graduating here today struggled against one or more of the impediments or obstacles I mentioned in order to reach this hilltop. When completing a long climb, one first experiences dizziness, disorientation, and shortness of breath due to the high altitude. But once you become accustomed to the climb, your mind opens up to the tranquility of the triumph. Oftentimes, the mind is flooded with realizations that were for some reason harder to come to when you were at a lower elevation. At this moment, most of you need some realizations because right now you have some big decisions to make. Right now, I urge you, in your breath, in your eyes, in your consciousness, invest in the importance of this moment and cherish it. I know some of you might have partied last night. You should celebrate, but this moment is also part of that celebration. So savor the taste of your triumphs today. Don't just swallow the moment whole without digesting what has actually happened here. Look down over what you conquered and appreciate what God has brought you through. Some of you here struggled against the university itself. This year, students protested and took over the A building, formulated a list of demands, and negotiated with our president and administration to determine the direction of our institution. It's impressive. Similarly, during my years here at Howard, we also protested and took over the A building in order to preserve Howard's annual appropriations from Congress. President H. Patrick Swagger decided to reduce the number of colleges at the university. By his plan, engineering would need to merge with architecture. Nursing would merge with allied health. And fine arts, my school, would be absorbed by arts and sciences. That's how we saw it, absorbed. For many of us in fine arts, this signaled to us that our curriculums or the curriculums of students following us might become watered down concentrations. This undermined the very legacy we were proud to be a part of and aim to continue. The Fine Arts program had produced Felicia Rashad, Debbie Allen, Isaiah Washington, Richard Wesley, Donnie Hathaway, Roberta Flack, just to name a few. We felt that, yes, you can go on and on. We felt that we could compete with students from Juilliard, NYU, and Cal Loss as long as we continue to have a concentrated usage that rivaled a conservatory experience. But without it, although we took over the A building for several days and presented our arguments to President Swagger and the administration, the schools were still merged. Thus, the current collection or formation of schools exists. That's why I view your recent protest as such an accomplishment for both sides of the debate, student and administration. I didn't come here to take sides. My interest is what's best for the school. A Howard University education is not just about what happens in the classroom, students. In some ways, what you were able to do exemplifies some of the skills you learned in the classroom. It takes the education out of the realm of theory and into utility and practice. Obviously, your organization skills were unprecedented. I'm told that you organized shifts so that you could at least continue some of your classes. We missed all our classes when we were in the A building. And I'm told that through donations, there was always an ample helping of food. I probably ate a slice of pizza during the entirety of our 3-day protest. So your organization and planning was impeccable. You received the majority of your demands, making a significant impact on those who came after you. As is often the case, those that follow most often enjoy the results of the progress you gain. You love the university enough to struggle with it. Now I have to ask you that you have to continue to do that. Even now that you received your demands, even if you're walking today, you have to continue to do that. Everything that you fought for was not for yourself. It was for those who come after. You could have been disgruntled and transferred, but you fought to be participants in making this institution the best that it can be. But I must also applaud President Wayne Frederick and the administration for listening to the students. Your freedom of speech was exercised in a way where you can contribute to this place. It also shows that you can contribute to the democracy. The administration and the campus police at the time when I was protesting was not nearly as open-minded as this current one. I know this was a difficult time, but because of both of you, I believe Howard is a few steps closer to the actualization of its potential, the potential that many of us have dreamed for it. Students, your protests are also promising because many of you will leave Howard and enter systems and institutions that have a history of discrimination and marginalization. The fact that you have struggled with this university that you love is a sign that you can use your education to improve the world that you are entering. I was on a roll when I entered the system of entertainment, theater, television, and film. In my first New York audition for a professional play, I landed the lead role. From that play, I got my first agent. From that agent, I got an on-screen audition. It was a soap opera. It wasn't Third Watch. It was a soap opera on a major network. I scored that role too. I felt like Mike Tyson when he first came on the scene, knocking out opponents in the first round. With this soap opera gig, I was already promised to make six figures, more money than I had ever seen. I was feeling myself. But once I got the first script, and with soap operas, you very often get the script the night before and you shoot the whole episode in one day with little to no time to prepare. Once I saw the role I was playing, I found myself conflicted. The role wasn't necessarily stereotypical. A young man in his formative years with a violent streak pulled into the allure of gang involvement. That's somebody's real story. Never judge the characters you play. That's what we were always taught. That's the first rule of acting. And any role played honestly can be empowering. But I was conflicted because this role seemed to be wrapped up in assumptions about us as Black folk. The writing failed to search for specificity. Plus, there was barely a glimpse of positivity or talent in the character, barely a glimpse of hope. I would have to make something out of nothing. I was conflicted. Howard instilled in me a certain amount of pride, and for my taste, this role didn't live up to those standards. It was just my luck that after filming the first 2 episodes, execs of the show called me into their offices and told me how happy they were with my performance. They wanted me to be around for a long time. They said, if there was anything that I needed, just let them know. There was an opening. I decided to ask them some simple questions about the background of my character, questions that I felt were pertinent to the plot. Question number 1, where's my father? The exec answered, well, he left when you were younger. Of course. Okay. Question number 2. If in this script, it alluded to my mother not being equipped to operate as a good parent. So why exactly would my little brother and I have to go into foster care? Matter of factly, he answered, well, of course, she's on heroin. That could be real, I guess. But I didn't want to assume that's what it was. If we're around here assuming that the black characters in the show are criminals on drugs and deadbeat parents, then that would probably be stereotypical, wouldn't it? That word stereotypical lingered. One of the execs pulled out my resume and began studying it. The other exec wore a smile, trying to live up to what they had promised me only a few moments before. If there's anything you need, just let us know. She said, as you have seen, things move really fast around here. But we are more than happy to connect you with the writers if you have suggestions. Yeah, I said, that would be great. I said, because I'm just trying to do my homework on this. I didn't know if you guys had decided on all the facts, but maybe there's some things we could come up with, some talent or gift that we can build. Maybe he's really good at math or something. He has to be active. I'm doing my best not to put his character like a victim. So you went to Howard University, huh? The exec, holding my resume, interrupted, peeking over the pages. Yes, I said proudly. He slid my resume back in his desk and said, thank you for your concerns. We'll be watching you. I left the office. I shot the episode I had come in to shoot on that day. Probably the best one I did out of the 3 because I got what was bothering me off my chest. I was let go from that job on the next day. A phone call from my agent. They decided to go another way. The questions that I asked set the producers on guard and perhaps paved the way for a less stereotypical portrayal for the black actor that stepped into the role after me. As the scripture says, I planted seed and Apollos watered it. But God kept growing. God kept it growing. Yet and still, when you invest in a seed, watch it grow without you, that is a bitter pill to swallow. A bitter pill. Anybody that's ever been fired knows what I'm talking about. Even if you really don't want the job, when they let you go, it's like any breakup. You act like you don't care. I didn't need that damn job anyway. I didn't need them. But when you have those moments alone, you start to wonder if there was a better way to handle it. And if you could have handled it better, maybe you could help your family. And then before you know it, you're broke. And you find yourself scraping together change just so you can ride the subway so that you can get the next job. And maybe if you could book something else, that would eclipse the feeling of doubt that's building. But it seems like you can't pay them to hire you now. My agents at the time told me it might be a while before I got a job acting on screen again. Well, that was fine because I never wanted to act in the first place. And I definitely didn't want to be caught dead going after a fake Hollywood pipe dream. I'm more of a writer-director anyway, so forget their stories. I can tell my own stories. But am I actually blackballed? We're hesitant about sending you out to some people right now because there is a stigma that you're difficult. As conflicted as I was before I lost the job, as adamant as I was about the need to speak truth to power, I found myself even more conflicted afterwards. I stand here today knowing that my Howard University education prepared me to play Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and T'Challa. But what do you do when the principles and standards that were instilled in you here at Howard close doors in front of you? Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. At some point, my mind reverted back to my experiences here, to the professors that challenged me and struggled against me. Professor Roberts Williams, Doc Singleton, George Epstein, to name a few, the ones that would fail you out of the goodness of their hearts. And this may be hard to grasp for some of you right now, but I even considered President Swagger and how negotiating with him was practice for a world that was considerably more cruel and unforgiving than any debate here, one that had no interest in my ideals and beliefs. How would I maneuver through all of this? Finally, I thought of Ali in the middle of the yard, in his elder years, drawing from his victories and his losses. At that moment, I realized something new about the greatness of Ali and how he carried his crown. I realized that he was transferring something to me on that day. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter in me. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter to me. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter to me. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Graduating class, hear me well on this day. When you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education, you would rather find purpose than a job or career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence for you. If it's meant for you, I don't know what your future is, but if you are willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Now, this is your time. The light of new realization shines on you today. Howard's legacy is not wrapped up in the money that you made, but the challenges that you choose to confront. As you commit to your path, press on with pride and press on with purpose. God bless you. I love you, Howard. Howard forever.
I definitely hope that Instagram enjoyed it. I screwed up. Let's see if I can get this camera back. Hi, guys. I screwed up, guys. I took my earpiece with me and I didn't. Oh, wait. Okay. Wait. Guys, I screwed up. I'm so sorry. I took my earpiece with me. And so there you have it. You guys, oh, let me just clean my face up. You guys could not Instagram, but YouTube couldn't hear it. So I'm going to do it over again, only for YouTube. How's everyone doing? I probably lost everyone at this point. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you all. Tonight's movie at 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern is going to be Black Panther. So join me on Periscope to see the movie Black Panther, Tracy Brown Live. Bye, guys. Did you guys enjoy the speech? Gio, you guys heard the whole thing? You heard the whole thing? Oh, you're on Periscope. That's why. Did you guys move over to Periscope? YouTube heard it too? I'm on YouTube. Oh, God, that makes me so happy. So everybody heard the speech. Did you guys like the speech? Was it not amazing? Did you like the speech? Yes. Yes. Did you like the part about All My Children when he was on a soap opera and he questioned the character of the kid? Did you guys enjoy that part? Yes. And then they fired him, right? Ugh, my makeup is like two-tone right now. Do not be afraid, everyone, to get fired. Do not be afraid, especially if you get fired for the right reasons. Hold on. I can't take the way I look. You guys know I am constantly joking about being fired. You guys know that. I'm like, I've gotten fired from every job. And now I understand why I've gotten fired from every job. Because I'm to the beat of a different drummer. And when you're to the beat of a different drummer, white folks don't like you. When you challenge from a different beat, not in terms of rebellion, but just in terms of what the hell's going on here, people? White folks don't like it. I've never regretted getting fired from every job. I brag about it because it led me to this place. It led me to talking to all of you. It led me to get you guys out of that fear that slave had put in us. I loved his speech. It was every part of it was amazing. What was that? Oh, year degree? What was that part? I love that part. Some of y'all sitting here with an oh yeah degree. Oh yeah, I got a paper due. Oh yeah, I got a test today. That was adorable. Right? What happened to you in nursing, Nana? What happened to you? It was an amazing story. Thank you, Gio. It surely was. And it's an amazing story to hear after death. It's an amazing story to understand he didn't leave us He gave us. He gave us the ability to fight, to struggle. He gave us the ability to understand that there are people out there that may want to work with you. He gave us the ability to understand Denzel Washington, and who's the other woman that helped him? The dancer or the director? What's her name? Like, to understand that our job is to help each other, not to work against one another. Stop working against each other. Find someone to help. Find a foster child that needs you. Find a family that you think you could take. I take care of a whole immigrant family. A whole immigrant family. The wife now works and she has a full-time job, and I still help them. Oh, yes, I do. Felicia Rashad. No, it wasn't Felicia Rashad. She might have been one, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. It's the dancer and the director, the two sisters. I'll tell you right now, because she has a dancing school in my area. Dancing schools. I'll just do that. Near me. Come on. Debbie Allen. Was Debbie Allen one of the people that helped him? Or the sister? Debbie Allen. Yes, it was Debbie Allen. So you guys know. Debbie Allen. Thank you, guys. You guys know. To hear his story, to hear his struggle. And guys, I know how some of us are depressed. And some of us don't know our direction. And some of us think that others don't understand what we're going through because we don't understand what we're going through. You're your own worst enemy. Don't be your own worst enemy. Oh, Debbie Allen, Fish Rashad sisters. Oh. I'm so ignorant. Don't be your own worst enemy. Push to help others. Push to do something more. Especially if your life is boring. If you're going to work and coming home, but in the COVID, some of us aren't even leaving the house. So we're staying home and working. And like, that's a mentality that's going to get to you. We got to find a way not to be fearful of the COVID. We got to find a way to think that maybe we could help someone. Maybe. We got to find a way to care for ourselves, care for each other, especially metaphysical people of all types. Buy Black-owned products. You already know that. I'm not preaching. I'm preaching to the choir right now because y'all already know. We got this. We already know what to do. There's just some other factors that could prevent us, like not supporting one another emotionally, psychologically, taking us out of sync of our direction when it looks positive, but it really is sinking you away from your direction. And spiritually, you got to know the difference. You got to understand the difference. You got to know the difference. And we have to help one another. Even if it means helping some kid through school. Go for it. Go for it. The little immigrant family that I take care of, the little daughter, I called the dad and I was like, all right, what does she want for her birthday? Because everybody's homeschooled in California. I was like, what does she want for her birthday? And he's like, everything. And I was like, well, that's not going to happen. What does she want? So he goes, Tracy, she wants clothes. She wants shoes. She wants, an iPhone. And I was like, first of all, she's homeschooled. So stay in your pajamas and learn. That's the way I was thinking and joking. And I was like, I understand shoes because your feet grow. So whatever. And I purchased her an iPhone and sent it to her house. People give. You never know what that's going to do to someone. You never know if you're giving, it's going to create a Dr. Chadwick. He opened doors for the next actor in Soap, but deliberately not him. Yeah, that was a beautiful thing. Do you know who the next actor was? Because I have intimacy in all of these stories. They're just things that I happen to know in the business. Michael Jordan was the next actor after him. Michael Jordan took the role. Yeah. He had just finished on The Wire. And then this role all of a sudden came up, which was like, oh my God. And then now look, years later, the two of them wound up in the same movie. No accidents. No accidents. Like when you look at God after the fact, it's like, how? Like God connects the dots. Chadwick had to leave. Michael Jordan came in. They went their separate directions. And on the best movie ever, these two actors came together. Ah, can only love God when you see it in the end. Sometimes we can't see it in the end. I remember speaking to Michael Jordan's mom, and she was like, we have concerns about she was like, we have concerns about taking this role. And the only thing I said to her, because I'm not revealing anything personal, but the only thing I said to her was, is there anything else right now? Because we used to call soap opera roles golden handcuffs. You get paid well. It could almost ruin your career. And I said, is he doing anything else right now? And she was like, no. I said, he's at an in-between stage. I think he was 16. I was like, he's at an in-between stage. At 16, they tend not to give roles. 16 or 17, might have been 17. And I said, they tend not to give roles. They tend to give roles to older kids that look young. I said, if you think he's going to be sitting home, doing nothing for the next couple of years, let him do the role. He can always quit. I give really good advice. I really do. Pat. Sorry, Donna. I give really good advice. All right. Yeah, there's things, there's just things, I have an intimacy with a lot of these actors. A lot of intimacy. And, I'm going to say something else. A lot of intimacy with a lot of these actors. And so when y'all asked me to do a reading on Michael Jordan, did I ever do a reading on Michael Jordan? Never. Because what you all want, sitting back, wanting to gossip, wanting to look at things, is despicable. I would never do it. This man has every right to develop his character the way he wants to. And I am not the one to tap into something just to tap in. That's not what my gift is for. And that's why I have to stick with the spirit of God inside of me. Y'all asked me to do Chadwick Boseman. And I refused. And I don't know which video it was, but somebody please find that video. But I remember saying, whatever is happening to him, he took on the weight of the world. He took on your weight and your weight. Are you kidding me? You guys wanted me to do a reading on why he was getting so thin? Spirit told me, don't you try it. I had no idea he was dying of cancer. And I have to tell you, the punishment that would have ensued if I did not listen to Spirit, I already know. This is an amazing man. Now that we see after the fact how amazing he was, if I would have did anything detrimental or revealed his cancer or his sickness, I don't know what God would do. I am disciplined. I listen to the Spirit of God. I trust God. And when God said, don't touch it, I was like, okay, I'm trying to go against you, God. Nope, not for the peoples. Nope. Not for the peoples, not for views, not for clout. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so proud of myself. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right. Enough about me. Somehow I put myself all up in Chad business. Where's my halo, God? You remember that, right, Gem Dolls? I said, absolutely not. Amen, Kalani. Thank you. We need that warning. Thank you. You did say that. I remember, right, Hannah? Said no. I just knew he was carrying some weight on him. I didn't know what it was, but I know from doing Black Panther, he changed every Black person in this world. Every. Whew. Just breathe, guys. Just breathe. Oh, tonight's movie, Black Panther. Come watch Black Panther with us. I remember, this is Gem Dolls. I remember that you said he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. And did you guys see every picture? He was at the cancer hospital supporting cancer patients. Have you seen all of that? With Kobe, too. I said I would not do Kobe. Guys, God is no joke. God is like, girl, I did not give you this gift to abuse it. And I already know, my God. And sometimes, guys, sometimes people want to pull you into something. I'll tell the gems what it was. Even for money, sometimes people want to pull you in. And you do think about it for a minute. But then I had a conversation with Desi. And I was like, what do you think this is? Desi is one of the readers that I recommend. And I was like, what do you think this is? And she didn't do a reading. We were just having a conversation. And what we came to the conclusion was it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe. And as much as I wanted to do it, I respect the spirit in Desi to understand that God is talking through her. So I say that to say, when you guys call me for a reading, you have to stop fighting me. You have to. Because what you're fighting is the information that's coming through from spirit. And you might want a man. And you might want to call him. And you might not want to even leave him. Or there's this woman out there. Or there's this particular job out there. Or you don't want somebody else to have your partner, the person that you work so hard to get. And when spirit talks, we're not having an argument. All right? We can't have an argument. I just need you to understand this is spirit talking. And it gets exhausting when you guys want to convince me why this person is a good enough person. Oh, Tracy, please pray with me and help me get over rejection and abandonment. I'm scraping my way out of depression and I'm scared. I won't make it through. L. Jones, if you have my number, text me, first of all. But second of all, counseling is going to be your best friend. Get some counseling, Black folks. Get some counseling. It makes the bigger difference in everything you do. Take your time recovering. Rejection happens, especially if somebody thinks the rejection is going to really hurt you. You got to be like, damn. All right, I'm going to take a few days just to sleep. You have to make it through, L. Jones. You just have to. Just give yourself time. You know what the best thing for any rejection, getting fired from a job, right, L. Jones, right? Didn't you hear Chad say he got fired? There was no money all of a sudden to help his family. He questioned whether or not he did the right thing by maybe wanting this character to be a better character. He ended up with Black Panther. So a moment in time of somebody's rejection of you, it hurts like hell. It really does. But it's not the end of the world. And don't take it there, people. Don't take it to the end of the world. Most likely, the rejection came from some sloppy asshole. Don't let anyone do that to you. Oh, yeah. Black folks, get some counseling. Get some counseling. Nothing's better than to just tell someone what the hell you've been going through. A month ago, 2 years ago, your childhood. You'll be surprised how being able to speak your authentic truth allows you to just get it out. Thank you, Carol. Sometimes a breakdown. This is Carol Nelson. I love you. Becomes a breakthrough. Rejection is a blessing in disguise. Let me tell you. Somebody said to me just last night, there was a weird disagreement, and somebody said, I apologize. Some guy, he said, I apologize, but. And I was like, but it's not going to work. And he goes, but if you never want to talk to me again, then maybe that's what it should be. And I said, okay. I was like, all right. Yeah. Sometimes rejections are little tricks to get you in your psychological despair. Sometimes you just got to go, God, okay. Al Jones, stop speaking those words. Stop. That's almost attention getting. Stop speaking those words. Do not do that. Do not make those choices. Life is too short. And use Chad as an example of the ability to come out of some space, but don't ever let a man take you there. Black Daddy, I don't think you're thinking well, though. And so I'm not going to repeat what you're saying, but that's mean. The bottom line is there was support for him in spite of. And everything he chose changed your life, Black Daddy. So we're not going to use mean words like that. We're going to understand that others understood him and understood where he was at and supported him in spite of. Use better words, Black Daddy. You're saying, well, I'm not sure. Oh, I get it. I'm not sure they didn't know. I think from what Spirit told me, I can only tell you, but what Spirit told me, that most of them did know. Most of them knew that he was carrying something and was fighting it. So again, I still think you're wrong. I think most of the studios was like, we want you, can you? And he was like, I can do anything. Something tells me he didn't keep it a secret. And I know for Black Panther, he definitely didn't keep it a secret. All right. Share on IG. I'm so hot right now. Oh, I should have a picture in here. Oh, my son had this amazing picture. I'm going to show you guys. Look at this amazing picture. Isn't it beautiful? Miss Mom G, thank you for that. Miss Mom said, I'm praying for you at L. Jones. It will be okay. And it will be. It'll be okay. Oh, come on, guys. Don't choose words that I just heard you say, though. Don't choose words like that. Zero views. Oh, I want this picture. Why is it not going? Oh, wait. This picture. No. Damn it. I don't want this picture. It's not showing up. God damn it. Why? You guys are so adorable. See how supportive already people are being to you, L. Jones? I hear you, Tracy. I'm going through a layoff on my job and it did not feel good. But I knew I hated what I was doing. Right. And I'm still searching for God to show me the open door. There's two things about God showing you the open door, right? One is we have to give God the chance to come through. Sometimes we are not patient enough, right? So be patient enough for God to talk to you. And then the other thing is, can we hear God when he does talk to us? So let me tell you something. I only wound up being a psychic from home because I did not listen to God. Somebody kept telling me, you should leave, you should leave. And I said, absolutely not. I'm waiting for God. All right. Absolutely not. I'm waiting for God. And when all is said and done, he made my sister sick, crippled her. And I think I told you this story. And I wound up working out of her hospital bed. And it was from working out of her hospital bed that I was able to figure out that I could work from home. And it took 18 months to figure that out. It took 18 months to figure out what God always wanted was for me to work at home. But I finally got there, guys. All right. Okay, I'm just keep trying to save this thing here. So let me just see something. Sorry, I'm doing too many things at once. Add. There you go. Hold on. All right. All right, guys. Post. Good. Sorry. Now that's the hard part. Knowing how to listen to God. Right. It's actually, I think, the worst part. But I can tell you this. Listening to God means patience. Listening to God means acceptance. Accept your circumstances. Listening to God is, I'm worried. What do I do, God? And then telling God what you need. I need to keep my job, God. And if you need to keep your job, what about you that has to change? I need to keep my wife, God. If you need to keep your wife, what is it about you that you need to look at? I didn't say change. I said look at. Because sometimes you have to see that somebody just wants to leave. And sometimes you just have to accept that. Right? We've all been rejected. All of us. Some of us can't even find somebody to reject us. All right? L. Jones, no more talk to the left. It's okay to be rejected. Just start saying that even. It's okay to be rejected. I'm going to be okay. I like the video 127 watching. What's that? Or knowing which voice is God talking. What do you mean by that, Frida? Because I think that's very interesting. What do you mean by that? Which voice? There's only one voice of God that talks to you. Only one. If something is not healthy for you, that may not be God. It might be evil. And by the way, I never call on the devil. I never give the words devil out of my mouth because that's how you give him credit. But it's not which God is this healthy advice, God? Especially if you get advice from a friend, you have to go, is that healthy for me? And then you got to sit on it and then wait for God to tell you. I know I've had people tell me, well, you need to just get rid of him. And it's like, is that a healthy voice talking to me? You know, is that healthy advice? And it turns out you might need to get rid of him. But you need to do it because it's God's voice inside your head that says it. Not, girl, if I were you, I wouldn't take that mess. Because then she winds up with your man. You know it. All right, guys. I'm so happy to be doing these videos always. And that commencement speech was amazing. I love you guys. Thank you for putting up with me. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good evening. Bye. I think everything might have